Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today. It's Thursday and that means we're cooking a fabulous Simply Too Good to Be True recipe. Which book are we going into? Well, it's this fabulous book 7 and I'm making you these today, Moroccan sausage rolls. Now, if you've never made your own sausage rolls, you're in for an absolute treat because you'll never go back and buy the frozen pre-ones in the supermarket once you've made these, I can tell you now. So let me just look at how we get started. First though, yes, there's going to be a prize at the end, so don't forget to check, and the winners get notified in an email, and I also post. So it's all about what do you want to do when you make sausage rolls? Well, you make it easy. That's right. Now, the recipe that we're going to make today, the Moroccan, I'm going to make 12 and then I'll make another 12 so I don't get too confused because it makes 24. It's out of book 7, as I said. I've got my oven preheated to 180 degrees. And so what we start with is breadcrumbs. So I've got the commercial breadcrumbs. You want half a cup of breadcrumbs. Then you want half a cup of skim milk, and you just pour those two together and mix it. And this is a technique that I use in several different things like the Mexican meatballs, different other sausage rolls as well. I just feel it helps bulk up the ingredients and just helps it bind together really well. So I'm just going to leave that to sit while I'm talking to you. Okay, so that's ready. Now I've already pre-chopped up some very finely diced onion because I thought, you know, you know how to chop onion by now, and that's 1/4 cup, but please make it fine because you don't want big chunks of onion in the sausage roll. We're also going to grate, I'm going to grate some lemon. I've got some mint to chop, fresh out of my garden. We've got an egg white that will help bind it together, and in the Woolies I was able to get a 500-gram pack of pork and veal mince, which is what you use for this one. And we've also got Moroccan seasoning, garlic and ginger, pepper, chicken stock powder, and the cooking spray. And of course, the most important ingredient is the phyllo pastry. Now, what you've got to remember, please do not buy the frozen one. It's a nightmare. It breaks up. It's terrible. This is where the garlic breads, and that's in the fridge section. It's not in the freezer. Antonio is the brand. Where is it? There. And I tell you that in the recipe as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate up the lemon. So I've got now I want it to be fine, so I'm going to use the fine one here. Just watch your little fingers. And we want 2 teaspoons. Now, when you think of Moroccan, all the flavours I've got here for you are very authentic and fabulous. It's really just a really lovely spin on a basic recipe like sausage rolls. Yeah, and I want this to be fine because there's nothing worse than a chunk of lemon rind in your mouth. But all these additions really bang up the flavour, and it really makes it a very fabulous sausage roll. Let's have a look here. I think I'm pretty good. Let's just a little bit more just to be safe. Normally you can always get it out of one lemon. Please don't buy the real waxy feeling ones because they're really hard to grate. They're very slippery. All right, there we go. And I'll use this for something else later. Now, put that out. It was fine, but I now want you to chop it again, okay? We want this to be really little. And we want 2 teaspoons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my bowl over here and I'm going to start adding ingredients to it. So in goes the mixture of the breadcrumbs. See how it's all absorbed? That's going to go in the bowl. Like basically what we're going to do is just chuck everything in here except the phyllo and a bit of paprika, which is a decorative thing on the top. All right, so that goes in. Let's put the onion in. Remember, it's 1/4 cup, finely diced. Now we want 2 teaspoons of lemon, fresh lemon rind. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I did too much. I'll keep that and use it for something else. Then we're going to do the mint. As I said, fresh out of my garden, fabulous, and you want 2 tablespoons. All right, let's put this in my soapy sink. I'm so glad you joined me today because it really, I mean, what would I do with myself on a Thursday if I wasn't cooking for you? I might actually swap knives and get the bigger one. Now, when you're doing the mint, it's finely chopped as well. I tend to try and put it all together and then slice. The mint is absolutely vital to this recipe because Moroccan food is all about flavour, and one of the flavours that they really love is mint. We want 2 tablespoons. Remember, the lemon was 2 teaspoons. And just really fine as you can. Some of these are a bit stubborn. Let's get them. Now, the other thing is, if you're thinking, well, I don't want to use the pork and the veal, then you could use beef. You could use chicken mince. Up to you. There we go. All right, so we want 2 tablespoons. There we go. 1. Oh, it smells so good with the beautiful mint. All right, so we don't need this anymore. So let's bring this over. Crack an egg white in. There we go. Don't forget to get your oven on because you'll be putting it in soon. They take such little time to make. We now want a teaspoon each of garlic and ginger. And of course, I'm going to use the easy way because you know me, I like simple and fabulous, but you can use fresh, of course, if you'd rather. I have got some other sausage rolls as well in the books because I'm a bit of a fan. So in book 2, I've got the traditional type of sausage roll. And then I've got, in the more cooking for 1 or 2, I've actually got a mushroom sausage roll. So now we're doing the chicken stock. You could use any flavour really, but I'm using chicken because of the pork and the veal. 2 teaspoons. See all the flavour that's going in this. It's going to be fantastic. And then we want, the most important ingredient is the Moroccan seasoning. Now you can get this in the supermarket, so don't worry. And we want 2.5 tablespoons. 1, 2.5. Now remember, my tablespoons are 15 ml. Otherwise you'll be putting too much in if you use a big tablespoon. And then all we have to put in now is 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Oops, sorry. And then we're going to just mix it all up. That's how easy it is. I've actually got my gloves because I don't want to get it all mushy in my nails and also my jewellery. So this is a tip for you if you're thinking, oh, I don't like getting in there and messing up my jewellery with it, all the stuff. This is it. I have a box of these down under the sink, ready to use at my leisure. All right, so here it is. All we've got to do now is put the mince in. Like, see how easy this is? It's basically then squish. Is there a proper chef word for this? Combine, blend. I reckon you're smushing it. Make sure that egg white gets mixed in really well and all the different ingredients. So spend a bit of time on this. And out of this, you'll get 24 sausage rolls. It's out of book 7. And you could easily halve the recipe if you think, I only want to get 12 sausage rolls. But gosh, they freeze really well, so you shouldn't have to worry. And I don't know anyone that's going to say no to these sausage rolls because they're so amazing. Homemade sausage rolls are the best. Oh my gosh, you can't go back, I'm sorry. And I make them for birthday parties. And instead of making them the size they are, that I'm telling you and I'll show you how to do now, I actually cut them even smaller so they're more bite size. All right, Mixture is ready. Now I'm going to divide this into 4 because I'm going to do 4 rolls, which I'll explain to you shortly. So let's bring my scales over and we'll weigh the mix and then we'll divide it by 4. This is how I find. You could go like this and divide it up. I like to be accurate. My OCD maybe. Anyway, here we go. Bill, have you got your calculator ready, Dal? All right, so it's 783 grams. Divide by 4, please. 195. 195. So let's do that. 195. See how easy this is to do this? 195. So I'll just put that there. We want 4 of these. Whoop, bit much. 195. There we go. Half of this. 193. There we go. And let's just check that one. Yep. Right. Boom. There we go. So let's move this out of the way. So what you want to do is you actually want to make them into sausage shapes. So I'm going to just leave them there for the minute because then you'll see when I do out the pastry how it all works. I might just take these off for now and we're going to start preparing the sausage roll. So let's spray the tray. Perfect. I'll just put that there for the minute and we'll get out our sheets. Now in total you actually need, I'll leave that there so you can see it, 16 sheets. Let me turn that off. But I'm going to just do 8 first because I'm going to do it in 2 batches because you make 12 and then you repeat it all. So I just thought that was easy to show you. So be very gentle with your pastry because it's so thin. Open it up. See, this is the unfrozen one. It's the only one I ever use. So let's look at it this way. Let's move everything away because I'm going to push it over there. All right, so we get the spray, and this is something I created in book 1 with the pizza strudel and the apple strudel, because normally you would be spreading this with butter, you know, the way they do it with a brush. I just thought, why not do it with the spray? Fabulous. Yep, back in the day, that was my invention. So spray, I don't want to spray my book. Now we're going to do this 8 times, okay? So count with me. I don't want to do 7, I don't want to do 9. 2. And 3. It's very easy to work with this pastry, so don't worry. 4. And there's the 5th one going on. Oh, is that the 4th one? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Thank you, Bill, for checking on me. 4. 5. I use this for a lot of things like pies. Gosh, there's so many. I love the filo pastry. Love it a lot. We're up to 6. 2 to go. So look in the cookbooks with the leftover filo you've got, you'll find lots of great recipes to be able to use your leftover filo in. Is this the last one, Billy? Yes? 8. So what I'll do is they dry out really quickly, so I'm just going to roll that over here for the moment. And I'm going to spray this again because I haven't done the top. And then what you do is you cut it in half. Okay, so go down the middle, right? And then move that over here. So this is I turn it this way and turn it that way. And we're going to grab these. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to push this out so it fits the sausage rolls. Are you sure we do it this way, Bill? I thought it was the other way. I think you're wrong. I'm almost positive it's the other way around. What does it say in the book? I mean, the author should know, shouldn't she? All right, so now what we do, you want to go to the end as much as you can because you don't want the person that's missing out if they don't get the filling, and you're going to carefully but tightly roll it over. Yes. Now this is a good way if you want a lot because you will get more out of it going this way than the other way. So what you do then is you cut it in half, and now you cut it in 3. So that way you get 6. So just make a call. Look at this, isn't this fantastic? Homemade sausage rolls, I mean, so easy and so healthy because the fat count is only 1.7 for each sausage roll. Put the loose side down. Look at that. Isn't that fabulous? There we go. And now we're just going to repeat that again. Let's bring it over with this mix. So once again, it's all about spreading it, looking at the distance you have to go. And look, you can see the bits of the little bits of the lemon and the mint and the onion. It smells so good. Put it in there. Spread it to the end. Don't want the end bit to miss out, okay? That's not fair. But they're very easy. You can freeze them as well, so don't forget that. And tightly roll. That's it. Once again, in half, cut in 3. So this way we've now made a dozen. And you will then just, with this other 2 batches of your meat mix, will roll out and spray 8 more sheets, just like I did before, yeah? And then do exactly this again, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them up, and I'll be back in a minute to finish them off and put them in the oven for you. Back in a minute. So I have finished off that 12 other sausage rolls, so I've got the 24 ready to go in the oven. 2 things need to be done now. I've got to spray the top. There you go. And then you can put whatever you want on the top. You might want to put sesame seeds or poppy seeds. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, because they're Moroccan, you put a teaspoon of paprika, just to give them a little bit of colour. You don't have to. You could have them plain if you wanted. I wonder what else you could put on the top. Parmesan? That would add fat to it though, wouldn't it? As I said, this is just paprika. And in the book, I did this in the photo as well. Now they're going to go into 180 degrees fan-forced oven. And they're going to cook for 25 to 30 minutes. And I serve these with a bit of tomato sauce. You could do some salsa or hot sort of sauce if you like things like that. But there we go. In the oven, let's go. I'm going to do 25 minutes. And we'll be back shortly in a flash to show you the finished product. And I'm back, that's right, oven's beeping, so the sausage rolls are ready. Oh, look at that. They look amazing. Yum. Look at this. 24 beautiful bites of fabulousness. Look, if you want to get the recipe for this, if you don't have book 7, you're missing out. So if you want to win it, then you have to be in it. So what you've got to do is like, share, and then in the comments, hashtag Symply Too Good. Remember SYM, number 2. Put that in the comment and I'll pick 3 fantastic people and you'll be notified in an email, as well as they'll be posted into the Symply Too Good page prior to next week's show. And talking about next week's show, I'm going to be making a fabulous fish recipe. I love fish, and I think it can be as boring as anything though if you don't make it fabulous. So I'm going to make my pepper fish out of book 6. And the idea came from this recipe because everyone loves like salt and pepper calamari. I mean, that's deep fried, and so I'm doing a take on that, but I think it's even better. So join me next week. But in the meantime, here we go. Moroccan sausage rolls. Thanks for another fantastic week, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.